Hello and welcome to another video by me and Zani84. Today I'll proceed with the next two chapters of the Misery Senshi Neo Zero Double Blitzkrieg Debacle, which was what we were doing last time. And I thought I just soldier on and do the next two chapters to see if it gets better or worse, because it's already pretty bad. The mansion that Ami was living in was pretty spacious by Japanese standards. She doesn't live in a mansion, she lives in an apartment. Yeah, Ami woke up, flung off her nightshirt and took a good look at herself in the mirror. For an egghead, she had quite an attractive body, even if she was small-breasted. Oh god, it's one of those stories. Daria had herself in the next room, which was used as a guest room. Ami took off her panties, oh god, put on her robe and went to the bathroom. As she was soaping herself up in the shower, Ami thought about everything that had gone on for the past 5 years or so. It had its horrifying moments as well as its triumphs, but now it seems she was going to put this behind her for at least the next 4 years or so. Okay, it wasn't 5 years, it was 2 years. R begins with a soft reset, and I assume S takes place over a break between school years. Yes. As she stepped out of the shower again, she looked at herself. Maybe Minako was right. She should cut loose once in a while. Maybe before she leaves, she'd go out with some guy. She had a new blouse and miniskirt common that she was dying to try out. As she put her robe on again and stepped out of the bathroom, Daria was waiting to enter. She looked beady-eyed without her eyeglasses and was wearing a blue t-shirt and yellow shorts as nightwear. Have a good sleep, Daria? Ami asked. Okay, but I still have major jet lag, replied Daria. You'll get used to it, answered Ami. That wasn't a question. Anyway, I hope you adjusted your watch properly. Remember, Japan does not observe daylight savings time like you do back in the United States. Yes, it does. The only difference is that it's 10 plus hours ahead of the United States. So I've heard, said Daria. When do we leave for our first class? Soon, was Ami's reply. I hope you'll wear a safe fuku I give you. Again, why not just refer to it in English if you're going to be so inconsistent with the Japanese? It's our school uniform. I still say it looks stupid on me, shot back Daria. I said, Daria, do you actually wear those army fatigue, black skirt and combat boots to school back home? Yes, I do, Daria said. It sends a message. What message is that? Ami wanted to know. Daria replied, I may be feminine, but I'm also tough as nails. If I ever go out on the town, Ami countered, there's some very good drop-dead mini dresses I have that would look very good on you. And by the way, have you ever considered wearing contact lenses? Too much trouble keeping them clean, replied Daria. Other than that, you do look beautiful, replied Ami admiringly. Thanks, said the surprised Daria. Not every day somebody says that about me. They usually call me the misery chick. Well, you are a bit of a major bummer. Well, I guess we'd better get the head out and get dressed for school, stated Ami. Right, responded Daria. Hope you didn't use all the hot water. There should be some left, said Ami, still unsure of herself. Right, somehow unsure of herself. However, as Daria began to use the shower, she was greeted with a blast of Arctic cold water. That's the story of my life, she said. As they arrived for first class, Ami and Daria noticed that Usagi was going to be late again. What else is new? Sneered Osaka now, whose mother ran a jewelry store. Okay, one, that was uncalled. That explicit that her mother runs a jewelry store is uncalled for. And two, now would not insult Usagi for being late. Usagi is always late. She's like that schoolgirl Megami Eiko on Project Eiko. Oh, she always wakes up late for school, rushes like a maniac, and still winds up being late for her first class. Oh, she had superhuman strength, superhuman speed, and had Coach Buki Shiko in tow. With her long flowing red hair, the image would be perfect. I've seen every film in that series, boasted Gurio, the geeky guy who is now his boyfriend. Eiko, Biko, and Seiko are really funny. And you must be the upchuck of Japan, sneered Daria. What's an upchuck? Gurio asked. Never mind, replied Daria. Miss Sakurada Haruna, who probably shouldn't be teaching that now in high school. Come to think of it, why I have Naru and Uminova? Stepped in the room. Still despite it was time to start class. Usagi's going to be late as usual. I see, began Miss Sakurada. Well, that hadn't stopped me before. Shall we begin class? We've got a new student here today who will take Ami's place as she leaves her medical studies in Germany. But why is she taking her place at school? Care to introduce yourself? Daria stepped up to the front of the room. My name's Daria Morgendorfer, she began. I'm from Lawndale High School on a foreign exchange program. I hope that I will do well in your school and not be treated like an outcast like I am back home. She bowed and resumed her seat. Well, that was short and sweet, Miss Sakurada responded. Something I cannot say for this story. Suddenly Usagi bolted into the room. Sorry I'm late, Miss S. The bus was late, was Usagi's rather pathetic reply. Again, in Japanese school, children generally don't refer to their teachers by their surname. Usagi, you are so pathetic, shot back Miss Sakurada. You'll wait outside in my hallway until class is over, and you and I are going to have a little talk in my office, young lady. You don't have an office, you... Yes, does this happen every time? Daria asked Ami. I'm afraid so, Ami answered. Later that day, school had let out for the day. All of the Senshi were going down the street chatting girl talk. So, Ami, do you want a big going away party before you leave or what? Usagi asked. Usagi, please don't make a big deal about it, pleaded Ami. I get a chance to see you during times of inter-semester breaks, holidays and such. Besides, I've never felt comfortable about going away parties. How do you feel about having the type of party like we had back home in the United States? Daria asked. Guess you've heard about the types of parties high school kids have on Friday and Saturday nights. What do you mean? Ami asked. Daria began her description. Stale potato chips, warm beer, flat soda, loud heavy metal music, guys and gals making out. Don't go on! Shrieked an embarrassed Ami. Ami, your cheeks are blushing, giggled Hotaru. Hotaru would probably not go to the same high school as they do, and even if she did... Okay, never mind. She's not even the same age. Hey, put it that way. She goes to a different school, which is likely a bit of a distance away. They are not, roared Amy. Just then, shots were heard at a nearby Mitsubishi Bank branch, and two armed robbers were running at full speed. When they got near the building, they saw a security officer was shot to death. Nothing like gratuitous violence in a fanfic based on two child-friendly shows. This looks like a job of a sailor Senshi, Usagi exclaimed. No, it looks like a job for the police. You deal with supernatural threats. Something the author probably should have thought of when he decided to make his villains three separate terrorist groups. The sailor Senshi began their transformation sequences. Eternal Moon Star Power, make up! Super Chibi Moon Star Power, make up! Super Mars Star Power, make up! Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, you get the gist. Yes, all of them are there, and all of their phrases are horribly mangled. Each sailor Senshi underwent her transformation. Now it was Daria's turn. Here goes nothing, she said. Super Mercury Star Power Makeup! Daria was soon transformed into Sailor Mercury. Daria, activate your VR equipment and track down the robbers, Ari instructed. A blue visor appeared on Daria. She was soon getting a reading. It went that way, Daria said. Right then, let's move it, said Sailor Moon, who was in her eternal mode with wings. Yeah, it's different from eternal mode without wings. She flew ahead of them. Robbers, meanwhile, had a couple of Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department officers on their tail. Halt him in the name of the law, one of the officers roared. Eat lead, copper, roared one of the crooks back. He took a gun and shot the cop down. Another cop went to help him. He took his portable radio and said, Officer down, officer down. Own. You're next, blue pig, said the other crook as he put his .45 Magnum against his temple. And based on the term using pig to refer to cops isn't common outside of America. And not to mention Japan has pretty strict gun laws. Why does this robber have a gun? Hold it right there, crooks, said a nearby voice. I am a pretty soldier, eternal Sailor Moon, champion of love and justice. These are the Sailor Senshi, who don't deserve their names. In place of the moon, no, it's in the name of the moon. We will punish you. Each of the other Sailor Senshi made her introductory speech as well, which I'll describe. It's now time for Daria to make hers. I am Sailor Mercury, misery chick of justice. In the name of Mercury, I'm going to nag you to death. Okay, that was pretty funny. Only, what the hell? Sailor Moon found herself saying. There's no time to waste. Eat lead, Sailor Senshi, yelled the first crook. Okay, is this crook on loan from America or something? Because it seems like the author knows nothing about crime in Japan. Then a red rose art hit the ground. You soon it'll be the last thing you ever do, Tuxedo Master, as he stepped out of the shadows. Here comes the cavalry, Darius said sarcastically. Recently, the Senshi have been given some new powers, ours conveniently. Now they are going to be put to the test. Sailor Moon was going to be first, yelled, "Moon Thunder Punch!" That she threw her fist and knocked both crooks off their feet. Sailor Venus was next. "Super Venus blindsider attack!" she screamed. That a blinding light issued from her hands, temporarily blinding the crooks. Dio was still new at this, so she decided to use one of Sailor Mercury's old powers. She shouted, "Shaman Spray! Freezing!" The crooks were frozen solid. Just like in Duke Nukem 3D. In case you've forgotten this game came out. She quipped, and she went up to them and kicked them. They shattered into little pieces. "Your face, your ass, what's the difference?" she sneered. The rest of the Senshi stood in disbelief, their mouths wide open. Okay, are we supposed to root for Daria now, since she just murdered a crook? Like you've barely done anything. Later back at Sendai Hill Shrine, I'm not even gonna bother complaining now. About the name now. Daria was being reprimanded for actions. "Daria!" Usagi began. "What you did was highly inappropriate. Sailor Senshi don't act that way." Usagi's right, Luna. You have to stop acting sarcastically. You're just lucky the TMPD decided that the use of deadly force is justified in this case. Why they decide that? Next time you may not be so lucky, Artemis said. "You know," Daria replied, "all you should go take a hike." That Daria stood away. Beginning to think that Ami made a big mistake asking Daria to take her place, Luna, Usagi said. "Right now we're stuck with her," Luna replied. "Ami's leaving for Germany the day after tomorrow, so there's nothing much else we can do for now. Let's hope she can keep her temper in check, that's all," Usagi said decidedly. Golf and the guy who was holding another rally. Tied at the foot of Tokyo Tower. Another huge crowd had gathered, and they were shouting, "Naga! Naga! Naga!" Okay, it's probably meant to say Naga. The eye looks like an exclamation mark. Awaiting for the arrival of the candidate. In a nearby trailer, Golf Nagai was speaking to the Solar Warrior, whom he managed to locate shortly after he saved his life. I've conveniently. "Believe me, Solar Warrior," Golf Nagai began. "I'm making a generous offer. Besides, if I'm elected and my proposal goes through, you could find yourself in a good position in government. My allegiance is with Amaterasu Omikami," responded the Solar Warrior. "I have served her for untold millennia. Back when there was no Japan as we know it. You must understand that I serve my goddess first, then my nation." "Of course," Governor Guy said. "Americans have a saying, Karat, for God and country. Far be it from me to tell you to quit the employ of your mistress. All I'm asking is for you to head this agency I'm proposing. If all goes well, we'll make the best law enforcement apparatus in the world even better." "Very well," said the Solar Warrior. "If it will serve to advance both my faith and my nation, so be it." "I'm glad to see we're at agreement," Governor Guy said, believed. "Might as well tell my adoring public about this. Are we supposed to root for Nagai or the Solar Warrior? Because they seem like bad guys." So at least Nagai does. The Solar Warrior just doesn't know any better. Governor Guy, the Solar Warriors, and the entire campaign staff stepped out of the trail and onto a platform set up for the occasion. Stepping up to the podium, Governor Guy began to speak. "My friends, I have someone here you may be familiar with. This is the brave hero who stopped the assassin who was determined to end my life yesterday. He calls himself a Solar Warrior. I owe my life to this person, and there's only one way I can pay him back. I've decided to name him as my chief of security during my campaign. He deserves this honor. Further, I hereby announce that if I am elected, one of the first things I plan to introduce in the diet is the bill creating a new Agency of Superhuman Activity Coordination. ASACO? Such an agency would help the various superhumans and superhuman groups work together with our local and national police forces to help stop some of the bigger threats to our well-being and safety. We already have one of the lowest crime rates in the world. This one's sure that it stays that way." The crowd cheered loudly. Shouts of "Naga! Banzai!" and "Solar Warrior!" filled the air as Governor Guy and the rest of his campaign staff, Solar Warrior included, left the campaign headquarters. Ryu had made his way to Asabu Q, where his friend Mamu lived in a rather well-appointed apartment. I think it should be Azabu Q. He rang the doorbell and waited a few seconds. "Ryu, what brings you here?" Mamu asked. "Is anyone else here with you?" Ryu responded. "No," said Mamu. "Good," Ryu replied to step aside. "What I have to tell you is not to leave this room." I'm actually an agent of the Japanese Special Intelligence Bureau. I'm working on a special assignment in regard to the activities of an organization called the New Imperial Rural Assistance Association, an extreme right-wing organization that wants to return Japan to its military-influenced wartime government. Plans to do so by stealing the prototype of new Mitsubishi Neo Zero advanced jet fighter now being developed. Plans to use it to bomb Tokyo to rubble unless the civilian government hands over power to them. The SDF can't stop them alone. Now I become a JSIB, hoping that you can contact the sailor Senshi for us, but maybe our only hope. How do I know that you're being on the level with me on this matter, my Mamu? Because the JSIB has extensive knowledge of the sailor Senshi activities, said Ryu. Got files in every member back to their earliest childhood. We were joking, looking at this. You gave him a file with the name Chiba Mamu on it. He opened it and looked at it. Sure enough, all of it was there. Pictures of his parents, of the car wreck that killed him, of his days at the orphanage, of his activities as Tuxedo Mask, of his activities as Endymion when he was brainwashed to work for the Dark Kingdom, of his activities as Moonlight Knight, of his recent mysterious disappearance during a flight to the United States. It's all there. How do you get these pictures? Demanded Mamu. Ryu replied, "We have our ways, Mamu. I have Usagi's file here as well." He pulled it out and began perusing it. Did you know that when she was in kindergarten she dumped a cup of chocolate pudding on her best friend Osaka now because she called her a dweeb? But she can't stand carrots, but she's never really been able to figure you out? Mamu said curtly, "Oh, and I bet you have your bra size now as well. God damn it, Peter. Peter, why must you make every character Mr. Sex Maniac? I call an asshole." "Not even worth mentioning," dismissed Ryu. "See, Mamu, we've got the goods on all of you. It's a serious matter we're talking about here. I need to know if the sailor sent you on our side or not." "Very well, you win," said Mamu resignedly. "We'll help in this matter. I want those files destroyed. If they ever fall in the wrong hands, it could compromise our identities." "Consider it done, my friend," replied Ryu. "We'll contact you when you feel that you need your assistance. Till then, take care." Ryu left the apartment building, but he didn't even take 5 steps when he turned around. Apparently some NIRA ninja spies, specifically ninja spies, have been following him. They were dressed in black and had katana blades, bow quarterstaff, sais, nunchucks, and throwing stars. "It's the Ninja Turtles!" "You traitor," said the leader of the group. "So I suspected you from the beginning that you were a double agent. Put an end to your miserable existence at once." Ninja spies charged on him. Ryu stood his ground, then launched into a roundhouse kick that sent 2 of them crashing to the ground. 3 more fell to blows to their solar plexus, and 2 more fell to blows to the neck. 1 more was left standing. Decided that discretion was the better part of valor and ran. "Run like the coward you are," Ryu shouted. Decided to report this matter to Gen Torimura at once. Back at Lawndale, the high school football team was holding a scrimmage. George Gibson, the regular coach, was sick with the flu, so Anthony DiMartino, the neurotic social studies teacher, was filling in for him. Mac was calling the next play. 34 red, 45, 49, hike. I know nothing about American football. What the hell is he saying? Kevin was feeding back for a pass and fumbled the ball. Matt could only groan in disappointment. "Kevin," Mr. DiMartino says, his right eye bulged in anger. "For a star quarterback, sometimes you play pathetically. How are you going to win the big game Saturday against Highland if you keep fumbling the ball?" "Sorry, Mr. DiMartino," replied Kevin. "I keep being distracted seeing Brittany practicing her jumps over there." Sure enough, Brittany was indeed practicing her jumps, but the tight sweat she was wearing, her breasts were jiggling like crazy. Oh my god, women have more attributes than just their bodies. Up in the stand sat Jane, Quinn, Jane's brother Trent, Jody, and Upchuck. His real name was Charles Brutheimer. Since he was so perverted and geeky, he was called Upchuck. And why is he referred to as Japan's version of... Why was Umino referred to him as the Japanese Upchuck? He's not perverted or geeky, he's just a weirdo. Quinn was expecting other members of the fashion club to arrive shortly. "What a boring scrimmage," Quinn started. "How are you going to win the game if we keep acting like a bunch of morons?" Upchuck went up to Quinn and said, "Why don't we go back to my place and have our own scrimmage?" "Wow! Keep away from me, Upchuck," shrieked Quinn. "I see not all the morons are out on the field," Jane retorted. "Man, I can't believe Darren won't be here for this game," Trent said. "Never liked football, but she likes being here for this big game against Highland. He always likes to heckle Beavers and Butthead. the only time our two former classmates from Highland High School ever come to visit Lawndale every year. Been that way since he moved here to Lawndale a couple of years back. You know what they say, Trent, Jane said. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Tell me about it, Trent said with a sigh. Oh look, here comes the fashion club, Quinn said. Sandy Griffin, the club president, entered, first followed by Stacey Rao, the club secretary, then Timothy Blum-Deckler, the club treasurer. Where the hell did the creator of Daria come up with these names? Like we're sorry and all that, Sandy began saying. Like my cat pooped all over this outfit I'm wearing and I had to wash it up. Stuff like that happens, Quinn said. Hey, everything's all set for us to sell goodies at the games, they said. Tiffany and I have baked a whole batch of cookies, brownies, cupcakes and so forth. But, I've got dishpan hands now, whined Tiffany. Like, just remember, Tiffany, Sunny said, it's all for a good cause. The fashion club. Why don't we give it to a charity like student government does? Jodie asked Jane. They are a charity case, replied Jane. They all need new brains, new personalities and ego deflation. Jodie got a good snicker over that remark. Jesse Moreno, Trent's bandmate on the rock band Mystic Style, appeared. Trent, man, it's all said, he said. What's all said, Jesse? Asked Trent. Jesse continued. We're going to sing a national anthem at the big game. I just spoke to Miss Lee, the principal, and she promised to give us $1,000 for the gig. Just where's Miss Lee going to get $1,000 from? Quinn said. The expenses of this game have already gone over budget. Yeah, Jane added. Last time this happened, the Board of Education and the school superintendent reprimanded her big time for wasting taxpayers' money. Just lucky Bob Schultz didn't show up and sue the school district. Hey, where she gets the bread from don't matter to me, man, Trent said. As long as we get it. While another player was being run on the field. This time Kevin made a perfect spiral pass. Max snagged and ran down for a touchdown. And that's what I like to see, people, Mrs. DiMartino said. Billy saw and shouted, Yeah! Go, go, Lawndale! And then Jane thought she heard some familiar laughter. Oh no, Jane said. Can't be those two. Sure enough, it was Beavis and Butthead. Went up in the stands. Quinn, where's your sister? Diarrhea? Butthead asked. Yeah, like, we want to talk to her and stuff. Beavis added. Well, Diarrhea isn't here today, Quinn began. She went over to Japan on a foreign exchange program. Man, that sucks. Listen, you two, Jane said. All because Diarrhea isn't here doesn't mean you can go pick on Quinn at the game on Saturday. If you do anything to her, I'll scratch your eyes out. Where's the author got the idea that babies and Butthead are sex offenders? Oh, look, it's better threat or a promise? Butthead asked. Jane said wisely, Both! Whoa! Butthead said. Beavis and Butthead sat down and watched a few plays. Kevin was once again fumbling a ball. After a while, those two got bored. This scrimmage sucks, Beavis said. Let's liven things up a bit, Beavis, Butthead responded. Soon got out 2 brown paper bags they had taken with them and poured out some firecrackers. What the hell are you doing? Jane roared. They're like we're going to set off firecrackers and stuff, Butthead said. What do you think we're going to do, asswipe? They set off a whole string of them and tossed them onto the field. All team began to scatter. See me toss this big one out there, Butthead, Beavis said. Lit the fuse and tossed it out. Landed right on Kevin and it went off in his left eye. Kevin collapsed in agony. Kevin! Shrieked Brittany, who saw the whole thing go down. Then fainted. Beavis and Butthead made good their escape while everyone was gathered around Kevin. Okay, this guy seems intent on portraying 2 lovable losers as as criminals. Someone call 911, damn it, shrieked Mr. DiMartino. Kevin was taken to Lawndale General Hospital. Examination revealed that most of the explosion was absorbed by his helmet and damage to his eye was negligible. The vision checked out okay, but he was held overnight for observation and released the next day. The next meeting for Lawndale Militia, Anthony Corlew brought up a match for firecracker attack at the scrimmage. Oh great, the Lawndale Militia, the real protagonist of this story, and its associated sequel and prequel and unproduced second sequel. Fellow comrades-in-arms, this is just another reason why we need to take over Lawndale. For our agenda of law and order, filth like Beavis and Butthead, for us people of colour and crippled folks. Oh god, he's racist. Will be kept out of our community. We don't need white trash like those two ruining our town. When they return, we need to lynch them. Teach a lesson to Highland, but we won't tolerate their shenanigans here in Lawndale. Those in attendance cheered for speech. Oh, it's... Okay, these guys are nut jobs. I have failed you, master. Perhaps the only NIRA ninja who escaped from Rio. He was been arrested, committed seppuku in front of Dr. Van der Helfen. Why didn't the others commit seppuku? Dr. Van der Helfen ordered the body disposed of. Yoriko entered the room. What was that all about? She asked. Our attempt to kill Rio failed, began Dr. Van der Helfen. We sent some ninja spies to track him down. He has alerted someone named Shiba Mamo to our plans. They were going to kill Ryu, but he was too strong for them. I wanted to personally kill Ryu. The orders will be obeyed, Dr. Van der Helfen, said Yoriko. Ryu just returned to Gen Torimura and told him all about his meetings with Mamu, as well as the attack by the NIA's ninja spies. Go on to us, I was afraid they would, Gen Torimura said. I'm going towards security tight to the biggest extent possible immediately at the base where the prototype is being stored. When do we need Pasela Senshi? When we do need Pasela Senshi, we are to be briefed on this matter. Everything will be done as you have ordered, General, answered Ryu. Why should we care about any of this? All these kites are flat as hell. The day had arrived for Ami to leave for Germany. All the sailors sent her with Narita Airport, as well as both her mother and father. Well, I guess that's it, Ami said. Wait, her mother and father don't even live together. Ami, you always be in our hearts, so I can say. When you do come back, you can always rejoin us. The door is always open. Here, take this, Ray said. It's a special safe journey, Sam. I hope you have a safe flight. Wanting to make your mother and I very proud of you, said Ami's father. I always knew in my heart you are a very intelligent young lady. That's why I walked out on you and your mom. As for you, Daria, Ami said, keep the home fires burning. Mom told me never to play with matches, Daria said. Still with your sarcastic humour, I see, Sagi said. Okay, that's pretty much the one thing she said that is actually funny. Ami, I hope you'll be a success in your endeavours. Alrighty, we're all rooting for you. Ami couldn't hold it back anymore, but tears were beginning to flow. I'm really going to miss you guys. Ami sobbed and hugged each of her friends' family. I better get on board the plane now. Chorus of farewell followed her down the gate. Good luck, Usagi added. Not noticed by anyone, Akbar El Salam had boarded the plane right behind enemy. His multiple nuclear device was plastic in composition, even had a plastic primer. That's the case, and how is it holding in any radiation? He managed to scoot by security bat and some machine guns, also made it mostly of plastic, no problem. Oh great, because these terrorists decided to hijack a plane from Tokyo to Italy to blow up the American town rather than, a plane going to that town. We've now got the bizarre coincidence that Ami and Akbar are now on the same plane. Half an hour past my flight. A flight attendant, one of the most revealing uniforms ever worn by such a person. It had a micro mini skirt and the blazer vest and shirt revealed a lot of cleavage. Went to Ami and asked her what she wanted for lunch. What do you have? Replied Ami. Flight attendant answered, we have yellowfin tuna or beef teriyaki. Ugh, said Ami in disgust. I can't stand yellowfin tuna. I have a beef teriyaki. Flight attendant went to the next seat and asked him what he wanted. Suddenly, Akbar leapt up and grabbed on the machine gun and roared, Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! This is Islamic Jihad. We are stealing this plane in the name of Allah. You are to fly this plane to Lawndale, USA, or I'll kill everyone aboard. Screams of panic filled the plane. Ami now realised he wasn't going to Germany today, or because these terrorists were dumb as hell. She had to be there to register for classes or forfeit her tuition deposit. But that was no longer a grave concern, not when death stared in her face. From his Ami, she had to take action and save the plane from this madman. Okay, I'm probably going to stop there for now, because I need to check the next chat, see if an event happens, and I want something special to happen when said event happens. That's all for today, see you next time.